Why does everyone love Yamaha YZ250s? There are many reasons for that. We're gonna go over it right now. Right here we have a YZ250. It's a 2021 model. It's my buddy Chris Puffer's bike. We did a project bike with it a little while ago. It's set up kind of in a motocross format. We're gonna be able to reference this bike as we talk about those things. One of the big reasons is these bikes have been the same for the last 20 years, basically the same. Small suspension changes in 05 to 06. And then again, they've gotten some updated forks since then. So same bike with aluminum frame since 05, and nothing else has really changed. In 2022, they went to a flatter seat right here with different shrouds that made it look more modern. What it also did is this bike has a little bit more of a saddle right here. This is the last year of this generation bike. So it has a little bit more of a saddle right here. The 22 and up has a straight shot seat. So it's a little bit more like the more modern 4-strokes, that it's a little flatter. I do feel a little bit more comfortable on the newer version. The engine's been basically the same for the last 25 years. One of the things that I think people really like about the Yamaha, and myself included, is everything just feels cozy and comfy. I could hop on this bike and just feel at home straight away. Even with the stock components up here, everything just feels just right. I can even live with the stock bar bend. Everything just feels good. It's narrow here. The chassis, the frame, everything feels really good. And if you pay attention to any of the tests going on out there, everybody loves Yamaha suspension, and this YZ250 is one of the benchmarks of suspension. It works well for a wide range of riders. Even big guys can feel good on this bike with just tightening up the sag. These bikes are plush stock and just feel really good. I'm not sure if there's better stock suspension out there from any other manufacturer that's as good as this Yamaha stock. The other thing with these bikes is the stock jetting is pretty dang good. The fuel out there available now isn't quite as good, so you're better off mixing it with maybe half and half with some C12 or avgas to get a little bit more octane to the motor. So 25 years ago, we had a little bit better fuel at the pump. We don't have as good a fuel at the pump now. But jetting is pretty good. We run the PC jetting, which is a pro circuit jetting. You can go to their site, support. We can give you tips on that. They just lean it out a little bit. That does help a couple things. It makes it run really crisp. So jetting's pretty easy on these bikes, and it works really well from here up to 3, 4, 5,000 feet. You don't really have to start rejetting these things unless you're much higher than that. And usually if you're higher than that, you're trail riding typically, and it's not that critical. Also on these bikes, the stock gearing's pretty dang good. You could go up one tooth maybe if you wanted to be really in a higher gear, like third for the motocross track, or you could maybe drop down one if you want to be more desert off-road, but stock gearing's pretty good on these things. The next big thing is these bikes are lower cost. Lower cost on a new bike or a used bike than about any other modern 4-stroke out there. So they're lower cost. I think these things are around $8,000, and I think you can get these things for in that range out the door nowadays. Now, they don't sell as many of these as they do YZ450s or current YZ250Fs, but they still sell plenty of them. And the big thing is they've been selling these things for the last, again, 20 years, and that's why there's so many of them out there. So even if they only sold 1,000 of these a year, that'd be 20,000 of these things over the last 20 years. And so I think it's somewhere in those neighborhoods in the US, who knows? All right, so not only are they lower cost to buy, they are lower cost to maintain. Now, you still need to do some maintenance. These things aren't bulletproof like anything. You're gonna need a new piston. 40, 50 hours with a novice kind of guy riding it, 40, 50 hours. You're gonna put a piston in there. Clutches, if you're riding in sandy, muddy conditions, you're gonna need to put a fresh clutch. 2-strokes love a fresh piston and a clutch. That's really the main things in the engine that you have to worry about. Changing the oil, you do way less than a 4-stroke because it's just your clutch and tranny oil, so it's not as big a deal. And then the other maintenance item would just be normal stuff. Air filter, checking on your brakes, bleeding your brakes, checking your pads, those kind of things that you would do on any bike. They have a very simple starting mechanism right here. Now, if you're a little bit taller than me, it's even easier to use with a good strong leg to stand on and a strong leg to kick on. It's a pretty simple, tried and true starting system. It's very simple. A lot less electronics and wires than a modern 4-stroke fuel injected bike. Very simple stuff going on here. Your electronics, you got a CDI, unit right here that we call it an ECU on a 4-stroke. Everything fits nicely under the tank. Very durable clutch and transmission. You can hammer these things and they go a long time. Okay, stock, these bikes are very good. If you do want to modify them, it's very simple and easy to do since you're gonna get proficient at changing a piston anyway. You could send off your cylinder to get ported if you wanted, or you could send off just your head. Simply getting your head added some compression to, you'll cut some off, reshape the dome. Guys like TMR, guys will modify the head or actually port the cylinder. You can do both and you'll gain a good amount of power. For me personally, I like a stock YZ250. A modified one is almost, well, for sure, probably too much for me. I prefer a 250 4-stroke on the track. So that's why I prefer to ride a stock one. And that's why these mods are so simple. So if somebody wants more power out of this thing, it's pretty simple to get your cylinder and head modified. And jetting changes very minimally. You can usually get away with the same PC jetting, which is really nice. Okay, so an exhaust pipe, if you're riding off-road, I would kind of go with the FMF fatty or gnarly even, so it's much stronger off-road. And a silencer, there's many different silencer. This one's a power core, which is a little bit longer than the shorty would end in here. And that just gives tons of snap and it'll be really good at the track. I think I would prefer this one or even the stock one, which is going to be a smoother, easier to ride power. So a lot of tunability you can do just with the silencer on these bikes, and then adding a pipe can also get more power. Right tucked in here, we have a V-Force. We have a V-Force 3. There is a 4 out now too, which is really good on these bikes. I failed to mention, when you do get that head cut, the porting won't affect it, but the head, adding compression, will require you to go up on that octane of fuel. So you might need to run some straight C12 or avgas. These bikes are also great intro bikes for somebody that's maybe new or getting back into moto in their 20s, 30s, 40s. They're getting back in and they don't want to go full hard in with a $10,000 brand new, modern 4-stroke. They want to find something in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. Get them something that is simple, easy to maintain. That's a great intro bike for guys to get back into moto or who are just starting. And I would probably start on something else, but if you're just, now you've built some basic skills, you can get on a YZ250 and have a great time. All right, so at that $8,000, this is the only Japanese manufacturer still making a 2-stroke. Kawasaki actually put out a teaser commercial like a year ago, and we have heard nothing. Used market is very strong on these bikes. We see them all over the country. In Canada, there's still a really large market for YZ250s because, like I said, from 06 to 26 are basically the same bike, other than those little, changes we've seen to the plastic and seat area here. So there's lots of them out there for sale. To find a good one, $3,000 to $5,000, depending upon where you live, what time of year, all those types of things. Out west, best to buy it in the summertime. Back east, best to buy in the wintertime. Those types of simple rules of thumb is good times to look for those bikes. You can find some that have been pretty hammered and ridden in race start. I try to find ones that haven't been raced, but there's plenty of good ones out there in the market, and I think you can find something clean in that $3,000 to $5,000 range. You can also find some hammered ones that are blown up, or they're selling as, hey, it's pretty beat. You want to be careful. If you get it at the right price for $1,000 to $2,000, it could be something worth fixing up, knowing that you're going to spend $1,500, $2,000 to rebuild the engine and get everything right. Yamaha also sells a 250X version the last few years. That version has an 18-inch rear wheel, a larger tank, kickstand, those types of good trail items. Now, for years, guys have been making their own X's because the stock X, let's say 250X, has the cylinder head has a little bit less compression, so it's a little bit easier to ride, a little softer suspension settings. So with the 250X, you're paying a little bit more for those things. And so if you want a simple trail bike and you don't want the complicated, say KTM 300 that has more electronics, it can still be a great bike, with the only big downside being it doesn't have electric start. All right, so the main reason I think people really love these things is because they are blue, they look cool, they sound cool, but most of all, they smell amazing. Enjoy. We'll see you guys on the track or trail. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you.
to black. Big talk on the feed, but no news to track. We're still waiting, but we're not standing still, cause Yamaha's out here doing it. Straight wheel to wheel.
PB Blaster is that penetrant catalyst that really breaks loose those old stubborn bolts. Been around for years and years. We all know this thing, seen it all over the place. Well, now Blaster has a Blaster power line, products, aerosols to help us with our moto maintenance.